Hey, this is Matt with Let's Talk Music. I'm here with Zac Maloy of the Nixons. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
And thank you for being on. So let's just go ahead and talk about this. You guys are out on tour right now with Everclear and Fastball.
That is correct. We've almost completed 2 weeks, and we'll go till sort of the end of July.
How's that going?
Man, it's actually kind of been amazing every night. Great crowds, great energy. Um, I'm continually nightly reminded that Art from Everclear is an absolute rock star, and then Fastball we've become pretty tight with, and love their songs. Great songwriters.
Nice. Speaking of great songwriters, I read in the press release that you wrote a number one hit for Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, I've had a few. That was my first country number one, and pretty cool. She's an Oklahoma girl too. So a song called "Temporary Home" I wrote with her and another fabulous songwriter named Luke Laird a few years back.
Nice. And then you wrote one for also for Shinedown, correct?
Yep, and like that was kind of the one of the weirder ones. It was right in the middle of the pandemic. Brent from Shinedown and the guys decided to sell a T-shirt for $50, and you'd get a free download of a song that I had written with Brent and another great writer named David Hodges. And so they raised about $700,000 for medical workers on Frontline, and it went to number one. Wasn't even meant to be in the world, and there you go.
Oh, that's awesome. So you guys released a new single, Kaleidoscope, which is also your self-titled EP. Tell me about the background of that song.
Yeah, so we live in all different cities, the Nixons, and the way it kind of works is one of the bass player, the guitar player will send me a music idea, or I'll send a music idea to see if they dig it, see what they would want to add to it. And that was one of the first musical beds I got from Jesse, the guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, man, I loaded up in my studio, and sometimes it happens quick. Sometimes I got to go back and chip away, but I kind of wrote and sang that song in about 30 minutes over Jesse's music. So I guess the moral to the story is if it's a cool piece of music, maybe it's probably a little easier to write to, but it was a title I'd had in my head for a while, Kaleidoscope, and it's kind of a weird word. So it's not, I don't know that I'm pitching that song to Shinedown or Hailstorm or any of the bands that I work with, but I think I was able to kind of do a decent job of sort of telling this, this story of us being part of our broken pieces,
Mm-hmm.
but being beautiful nonetheless. That sounded kind of cheesy, but that's sort of loosely what it's about.
No, it's not cheesy. I listened to the song, and I mean, it's the words are in there, so I mean, it's a
There you
good
go.
song.
Thank you,
But-
man. I appreciate you. Appreciate that.
So, I also read that like in '95, you guys was with MCA, and
Yep.
you did a Happy Song, Wire, and Sister, which seen a lot of radio play.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. The '90s, were a different time than now. I'm not sure we would have gotten to a third single, but Sister was actually our third single. The first two did great at alternative, but MTV kind of embraced the Sister video, and as you know, the '90s, that was a big part of music then. And so and then honestly, I sort of chalk it up to a lot of touring and a lot of support from radio on that song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like, I'm actually looking at your press release right now, and I mean, let's talk about how you guys did like 300 shows a year for nearly a decade, and you was out with Kiss, Soul Asylum, Radiohead, and the Toadies. I mean, that's some big time names, man.
Yeah, dude, we've gotten to do a bunch of great stuff. A lot of festivals with, like, I mean, literally everyone from STP to the Ramones, all the bands you just mentioned. Yeah, it was amazing. We were actually toured with Soul Asylum as the headliner. Radiohead was in the middle, and we were the first of three, which is funny to think about. just a few years after that tour, Radiohead kind of became the biggest band in the world. But it was
Right.
super cool, man. I mean, there we were hanging out one night in San Francisco by a pool with the members of Radiohead and Soul Asylum, drinking beer, telling stories. And just to add to the weirdness of the night, my drummer and I were headed up to go to bed, and we walked past an open room, and it was Ray Davies from the Kinks sitting on his bed strumming guitar. So yeah, dude, listen, I could tell stories for hours, but it was a pretty solid decade of a lot of touring.
Nice. So, I mean, is everything more relaxed now, or are you guys trying to get back into being out there a lot?
Yeah, I've been talking about this with people. We reunited in 2017, really had not even spoken in for 16 years, and played one show. And I kind of wondered if that would be it, maybe a show every year or so in our home market. But, we did a run with Sponge last year, 2 years ago. And now here we are with Everclear, a solid, month and a half. And I would have never thought any of this would have happened. We've now released 2 EPs. And, well, the second one comes out at the end of this week, as you just mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is way more activity than I kind of would have ever predicted. Now, our drummer John is also the full-time drummer for the band Seether.
Right.
So they tour a lot too. So sometimes we do kind of have to work around his schedule a little bit. And then, for me personally, I'm, as you mentioned, I'm a songwriter is my job here in Nashville, Tennessee. And so I need to be here writing songs
Mm-hmm.
to keep that gig going. So it'll be tough to do anything like 300 days out of a year. How about that?
Right.
Those days are probably behind us.
Yeah. So, but I mean, it's nice to get back out and, hit different cities and stuff, I'm sure.
No, it's great, man. We did Denver. I've got some family there that came out. It was great. We did, I've just now finished a little swing through Texas, which is we're from Oklahoma, but Texas is almost an adopted second home to the Nixons. So, we had killer shows in Odessa, Waco, a couple others that I'm forgetting. But so yeah, that's the closest we'll get to home. Memphis last night, as I mentioned, and then we're up in the East Coast for a bit. We actually do get to play Nashville, which I'm stoked about, in July. So all my songwriter friends that don't believe that I actually do this, sometimes I think we'll get to come see a rock show.
Yeah, I've seen that you guys are playing. You have a show here in Franklin, Ohio.
Oh, okay, that's where you are. I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, well, I'm actually in Columbus, but Franklin is maybe an hour 15 minutes from here. So,
well, make the haul over and let us know if you need tickets and passes.
Hey, sounds good to me. I'm always down for a show. Actually, what was it, Wednesday night? Went to just do an interview with Saliva and ended up getting an interview with a band out of Minnesota called The Ninth Planet Out, which were really good, and also Otherwise. So what was supposed to be one interview turned into 3. So, man, I had a good night freaking doing interviews, taking pictures, and first concert I've been to in a while. So I was pretty stoked.
Well, that's pretty awesome. And just to put a bow on, again, my day job as a songwriter, I had Saliva's first single from this album, and I've got a song on Otherwise upcoming album. So,
awesome.
So you were talking to my people there. They're both great bands. The Otherwise guys are just nice as can be, man.
Oh yeah. Adrian was a few shots in, he said, and when we was doing the interview, and he was quite comical.
Yeah, okay, that's good. He can be that way. I've been around him when he's a few shots in, so that's pretty funny.
Yeah. He was. I mean, he kept telling me, he says, "Man, we'll get together here soon." He's like, "I could go down here and make my gas money." I found that quite entertaining. But I mean,
that's funny.
He was an awesome entertainer, dude. He jumped off the stage, come out and sang with when they did Soldiers. He come out and sang with a lady in a wheelchair that was taking pictures, and then with a 7-year-old girl that was there to sing.
That is awesome, man. So to just add to the dovetails of stories here, I did something called Shiprock in this last January, where I was part of sort of the each member from each different bands form one band, and we did a couple sets. I was like with a member of Anthrax and a couple other rock bands. But I saw otherwise on the ship. And again, back to that whole thing of wearing different hats. People don't think of me as dude singing in a rock band, and they saw us saw my wife and I in like the outside the spa area of the ship. And Adrian just looked at me, he's like, Zac Maloy, what are you doing here, man? We had Zoom written the song on the album, and I explained I was a singer also. And so anyways, and by the way, I appreciate that show. They do actually absolutely rock out. That singer is he's just amazing, pretty wacky, but amazing. And to be honest with you, it kind of reminded me a little bit of the Nixons. I mean, we're definitely not the band that stands around on stage. I think Gene Simmons called those bands shoegazers. We're definitely not that. Right. So I appreciate a good rock show. So
after this, is it just back to songwriting, or are you thinking about maybe releasing some more singles? I mean, what's the future for you guys, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely, man. We had a lot of fun with making this video. We used a company called Prairie Surf, based out of Oklahoma. That's a great production company. And Kaleidoscope kind of lends itself to video, fodder and ideas. So yeah, I don't know what the next single would even be right now, but I really like the songs on this album. I'm proud of them, and we'll for sure release another single video. And then as far as playing, yeah, we've got a show here, a show there, fly into Vegas for one, and I'm sure others will pop up. Undoubtedly.
Awesome. So you guys get radio play there in Oklahoma?
Yeah, in the Midwest, in Texas, and actually did a show recently for the rock station in Oklahoma City, a real cool festival with Everclear and Candlebox, another band we toured with back in the day. And so yeah, those kind of shows pop up a lot. We'll get the call to play BuzzFest in Houston or EdgeFest in Dallas, and those are no brainers. You just fly in for one day, play for a soccer stadium in Frisco, Texas, and whatnot. So yeah, we'll continue to do those things for sure.
Okay. Well, Zac, I'm gonna go ahead and let you get to relaxing, man. I know you said you was heading to Nashville to meet the tour bus.
From Nashville, the tour bus is parked in Knoxville. We'll leave at about 1 a.m. to head to, like I said, a town in West Virginia.
Yeah, I think it was said your next one, when I looked at the tour schedule, is, let me see, Virginia Beach tomorrow.
Oh, Virginia.
Yeah, I lost you there for a sec. Can you hear me?
Virginia.
There you are.
Yeah, Virginia Beach. You're right. Thank you for correcting me.
Oh, no problem, man. I was like, because I was looking, it's July 8th that you guys are going to be here in Franklin, Ohio at JD Legends, which I heard is a pretty good venue.
Okay, cool. Well, we're looking forward. We're hitting a lot of places we've never hit, a lot of places we haven't hit in 20 years. So if you can come on out, hit me up, and thank you for doing this.
Hey, thank you. And you guys have safe travels and have a great show tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks, all right.
Man. See you.
Bye.